Okay, hey, welcome back to Castle of Legends for part two of the War Rig project, the first War Rig project that I've done so far for Gaslands. And what I've done is I've gone through my collection and basically spent some time organizing my cars and various parts that I've managed to accumulate over the past over a year now, actually. But I didn't actually really get into building the models up until late last year or mid last year in 2019. I think I just started poking at a few projects, and then as I got into it, I just started doing a little bit more and more. So I'm still learning myself, and just this is just a little bit of a journey into taking some past model making experience and applying it to Gaslands, and not really trying to go for like a show car or like a high end paint job or something like that with these. This game is meant to be really on the cheap, but of course you can kind of always take it to the next level. And anyways, I wanted to just go through a few pieces of the collection here and select a trailer for the War Rig itself here. So this is the front part that I've done, the main truck for the project. So this is what it turned out. So you should, if you didn't see the full review or walkthrough, there's another video for part one. But anyways, I've actually laid out a lot of parts here. Some of these I don't know what I'm going to do with. This kind of reminds me of the skiff from Star Wars, the Jabba the Hutt skiff. But anyways, I got a lot of trailers, going through a lot of models just to try to find, the right one that would work with this. So I've got, actually I can start off with this little bag here, just to kind of go through. I haven't even opened this. There's just from the thrift store, a bunch of trucks and things like that all thrown together. But actually, I remember this. This is what caught my eye, was these guns that were already mounted to the trailer here, and it looks like I can actually just simply take these off the posts, and it's got like a searchlight and a nice gun that's already on a turret. So what I would do is I just drill a hole and mount it on the rig, and the rest of this, I don't really, it kind of doesn't really compare. But, these parts are great, actually. So I can lay that down. And then I actually got a Lego helicopter I thought would be neat it's got the Joker inside, potentially a good helicopter base. I actually do have a bunch of models for building a helicopter for Gaslands. I haven't really quite got to that yet, but I've got a few of those, and I even got tanks and buses, a school bus. I got a school bus. I've got lots of things. Okay, so you get a delivery or garbage truck here, sorry. And another small trailer that's really small in scale. I really wanted to find something that was the right size for this, for my rig. So I've got this, I got some great candidates here in terms of a trailer. So this one in particular is actually one that I found for about $10 at a antique market. And I thought, well, I might actually build this as a rig by itself, only because it belongs together. I did find another place yesterday that had some of these, but the cabs seem to be a little bit bigger in scale. So I'm either going to use this one or something similar, but this one is a really great candidate so far. So if I or I might even use it for both, but if I line it up here, that looks about the part right there. So once I get it all kind of figured out, I wanted to have it, kind of, if you see trucks on the road, you always see that the back section just sticks up a little bit more than the front. So I spent time driving around looking at trucks for weeks trying to figure out what's the right scale to use for a war rig. And I got a lot of other parts, like these are from the dollar store. I got some other trailers, Hot Wheels, from this parts bin. This is a full Hot Wheels car or truck. And I've got some tires that I put in this bin as well, just to kind of put all the parts aside. This is one of those cheap ones from Walmart. I don't know where the front tractor is, but I think, originally I was thinking about this, but that just looks a little funny. So anyways, that's not going to happen. And then got this just the other day. This is for like another project altogether. I mean, look at this thing. It's got lots of potential. So this is a project all by itself. Just wanted to show you guys this thing. It's got screws as opposed to rivets. It's already got, this reminds me of one of the Mad Max vehicles. So I wanted to build something like that for Mad Max that had the big scoop on the back. So I'm gonna use this for a separate project. Got some guns from a dollar store tank. Got rid of the tank part, it was way too big, but I'm going to keep this for either one of the war rigs or maybe another project as well. And then I think some people have actually used this model as for a war rig. This thing is great. It's got off-road tires, it's got exposed engine, it's got some, I think, fuel tanks or something in the back there, propane tanks maybe. And the front looks great. So trailer is a little small, but I think, you can extend it, have another piece at the back. And in my parts bin, I've got the front part of this. And it's in a different bin, but anyways, I originally got this for because it's from the same set, or at least I thought it was, but anyways, too small. And then, actually, as a sneak peek, this is not going to be for this war rig, but this is going to be another project that I'm going to work on. Oops. So again, you can have. Oh, doesn't like that. So, anyways, you could take a wild guess what I'm thinking of for this project here. I was on a hunt for this type of cab for a long time. And I finally found one. In fact, I actually found two of them. So I already took one apart and it's ready to be worked on with that trailer. And then I actually have a different trailer that also works with it. So, oh, it's actually broken there. But anyway, they were the same truck, the same tractor trailer. So, and I actually got this one here as well. So I've got a lot of war rig related parts to choose from, but I think I'm going to figure something out and start working on it. I could even think about just using something like this with my war rig and build it up. But again, this first model was supposed to look like the war rig from Mad Max. So I'm going to, see that? I dropped it. And it still is fine. That is how solid I build these things. I didn't mention on part one though, and I should mention it now. I used toothpicks in here to help reinforce the wheels. And there's just a few other things that I did. So you can drop it just like I did and it won't break. So anyway, that is it for this section. And in the next section, we'll just go through some ideas on which cab I selected. Okay, so I've cleaned up the work area here just to clean things up a little bit and show you guys what I've chosen to work with. So this is going to be the back section for the war rig itself. I thought it was the best looking, the best one of the bunch that would fit the scale. I'm trying to go for almost like a realistic looking rig versus just kind of going really crazy with it. So I've got a few parts that I've already set aside for this project and really trying to make it look a little bit like how the war rig did in Mad Max. So I've got some spare cars. I'm going to probably even just cut this one in half, because I believe that's what they did in the film, was they took a classic car similar to this, cut it in half, and I took the gun off that one cheap trailer that I found in that Value Village bag. So I can probably see if I can use this, and yeah, just model it up from there. At the end of the video, I'm going to have the announcement about the giveaways, so just stay tuned for that, but you can follow through the progress on building this rig. Okay, so for the first part of the build for the war rig, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys, I picked up these cap snaps from a fabric store, and basically they come, this one in particular, I got 2 packages of them. They come with 6, so you can kind of lay them out, and what you want is the ones that have the spikes built into them. For this, for the cab or for the trailer, really all I need is 4, but there's actually these ones that have the spikes with a solid backing. I'm not too sure it would be easy to use these, but might be a way to come up with something, maybe glue some kind of a detailed piece in the middle of it for another car and actually or another project. But and these pieces of the buttons can also be reused as well. If you say you don't really want spikes, you can change the appearance of say you got some of the dollar store tires like I did, and you want to have a better cap, you can use something like this and then paint over top of it afterwards, and then paint this so it looks like a cap for it, or like a rim. But for these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them to the trailer, and hopefully it will look pretty good. You don't have to worry about how much, well, I don't want to use that much, but anyways, that's fine. Maybe a little bit more the better, so you can slide it around and position it. The one thing you could also do is have some toothpicks nearby to help you with positioning, so you don't get glue all over your fingers like I am right now. But anyways, once you have those dry, that should look pretty good. Okay, so I got them all done. This is how the back section looks so far, by adding the new caps with the spikes on them, and it really enhances the overall look. Quite pleased with the result. I mean, it does stick up a little bit when you look at it from this angle, but they look really good. And I basically had enough with the 2 kits that I bought. I'm going to see if there's a cheaper alternative. Those packages cost me about $5 a piece. So, I mean, if you're going to do a number of vehicles, I'm going to see if I can find a way to buy these button snaps a little cheaper. But anyways, they look really good. After bending some of the spikes, you don't have to do all of them. Just do a couple random ones here and there. It really adds to the effect. To make them look, once I paint this is going to be all, they're going to be kind of rusty and whatnot. So I did the back 4 wheels on the trailer, and then I went back to the tractor section itself as well, and quite pleased with the way that looks. It really gave it a whole new look. I wasn't too thrilled with I really liked the tires, but I wasn't too thrilled with the rims, and now I've got rims with spikes on them, and it almost looks like you can do this with like a regular Hot Wheels car that is not Gaslands, and just kind of give it some some teeth on the side. I mean, it's pretty good. So I really like the fact that this one I already had a spike in it, but now I've got I got some more, and once I repaint this, again, yeah, it's going to be all detailed together. So it really enhanced the overall look of the rig, and with the skull I had on this side, and having the spikes at the back, I think it looks really good. So we'll move on to the next section, which is going to be working on the top. Okay, I'm going to move on to the top section of the trailer, and what I've decided to do is, I just spent some time looking at the war rig from Mad Max, which is kind of what I'm basing this model on, and just trying to, I mean, it's not going to be, there's no way to do an exact replica using like Hot Wheels and majorette trailers and that type of thing. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this one car, and that I stripped this down some time ago, but yeah, what I'm going to do is cut it in half. And since it's snowing outside, I'm not going to use a Dremel, which I usually do with a cut-off wheel. It's just a lot easier. I'm going to try using just like a hacksaw and see if I can get it to have the same result. If I have trouble, I'll go back to the Dremel and then have it cut in half. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the front half on the obviously on the front of the vehicle, and then or the trailer, and then the rear at the back. I believe in the movie they have this back section like this, and I'll see how either way looks. I'm gonna probably have it this way so that I can do something in between the front and the back. I already have a couple ideas where I want to have like a wall here, and or maybe some wiring here. So I'm going to try to keep the detailing as simple as possible for the whole rig, just to keep the theme between the two sections together, so they both at the end will look like they were always together. What I have realized too with the trailer is the hitch doesn't quite line up. So I have an idea. I'm not going to drill anything into here. I'm going to build something around this area so that this post has a place to go. So I am going to work on that too, but I'll do that shortly. But when I go ahead and cut this in half and see how it looks. Actually, what I was going to do is just to get a nice straight line, I'm going to use some masking tape, and have a straight line, I think somewhere around here, and make sure that it's an even cut instead of just using my eyes. So I'm going to start with, I want the door section to look completely intact. So I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I kind of want to try to match it up as possible on both sides, and then that way it looks reasonably even. So once I get the hacksaw going on it, it should look pretty good. I'm going to try to do it so it doesn't even cut the windows. So somewhere right here, I'm just going to start and then go straight down, and then hopefully the door detail is still there, and then I could put secure this body to the top of the rig, or top of the trailer. Okay, so I got the car cut in half. Using a hacksaw is not a good idea, so I went back and pulled out my Dremel kit. I actually bought a big Dremel kit with a ton of bits before the holidays, just for using with Gaslands, and so this is the result. And basically you have your front section and your back section ready to place on the place right on the trailer. Gotta glue down the front section. Now we get the back section as well. And this is going to be just another gun perch at the very, very back. Okay, so I've got the front half and the section, the front half and the back section glued to the top of the rig now, and I'm gonna work on making this a little more secure. I mean, as you can see, there's just a couple of touch points there where I've managed to secure it with some glue. The front section, I actually bent the metal a little bit more just to kind of stick to the sides of the trailer itself, so that actually worked out really, really well. But I'm going to somehow join the two sections together with some plastic card, or I've got some other ideas that I might do with it, or I don't know. I'll see how it will pan out. I really want to try to keep it to the look of the Mad Max vehicle for this particular model. So it may end up just being a little bit more simplified. Okay, so I got the front and the back pieces of the car well secured to the model. Still got a little bit more to do, but once I add more pieces to this, it's gonna really, really help strengthen these parts being stuck to it. So this part, I wanted to show you guys what I've done with adding paper details to the model. So if you want to start adding armor and you don't have a lot of plastic bits around, one of the easiest things you can do, and especially if it's something like this where it's a rounded surface, you can just take regular paper, cut some strips out, and glue it to the model, glue it to the car that you're working on as well. And then you can take business cards or flyers that you get in the mail that are basically cardstock and start to cut them up. This one is basically like one business card that I've cut up and glued it to the model. I'm going to be adding some more details to this, but this is just the base of it. So I just wanted to show you guys what I've done with that. And then I've added some tires to the bottom because I'm trying to model this based on the war rig in Mad Max. In that model there's a lot of spikes and everything at the bottom, and then I noticed they had some tires. Usually the tires are kind of laid out underneath, but for this one, just to be on the safe side, what I did was I looked at the cab and where it's going to rotate as well. So I basically got clearance there, more or less. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but anyways, I'm going to try my best to get that to work out. And I'm going to add spikes to these tires as well, if I can just manage to pick it up, and glue those on. I'm just waiting for this to dry, and then I'm going to move on to some more detailing. Got this idea, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in the end result, but I've got this idea about some spools, and what I was thinking was wrap this with some wire, and then maybe they're mounted on the side or on the top, and make it look like something that the crew of the war rig could just drop on a car if it was going by, and then just smash it. I mean, I'm not too sure if there's any rules for that, but you never know. It just could look pretty nice as an interesting detail. Make this look a little rusted with some wiring wrapped around it, and I have something here to help prop it up. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go and get a model, like a model tank or something. See if there's anything I can add to the top area here. I was thinking of putting like a satellite dish or something in the center, and then having some wiring going down the side, and then having run the cable up through here and then down the side of the model. So still kind of looking at what they did in Mad Max, but adding another flare to it. I thought it looked a little too plain on the top, so I'm making this look like a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess a little bit of a base at the back here. I might even do a canopy or something. Not really sure, just kind of going with the flow in different stages. Okay, so here's my creative hitch solution. I just glued this down. It was like some kind of a clamp I had, or a clip I had in the garage, and straightened it out. Originally I was thinking it was gonna glue a bolt to the back here, but I found this and I thought it'd be a lot better just to kind of build around it. So that should work quite nicely there as a hitch, but I'm going to build around that and cover up what this is going to look like. So you won't be able to really tell that it's there, but it's a better solution than trying to drill into the base or extend something at the back. There's a lot more security here, so it's actually wedged under there, and then I've got it stuck here, and then I'm going to put something on top to further secure it. Okay, so I've laid out a number of bits and parts and accessories, I guess, from a number of model kits, and ranging from Warhammer to Flames of War, and some other models, and just some household items like like the spool I was talking about earlier. Wanted to just backtrack on the model. So I kind of didn't mention it, I don't believe, earlier. When I was cutting this in half, cutting this car in half, I put masking tape on it. That was kind of a silly idea. And the hacksaw really wasn't cutting it. so I ended up getting out the Dremel and cutting it in half. So I was pretty happy with the result there. And then it was able to mount it nicely. So so what I'm going to be doing with this part of the video is just showing some of the ideas that I have, and then basically leave this as part 2 of the video, and then make a part 3 with the model being fully completed. So I've been laying out some parts here, from that I had in my bin. I've got this like TV set up here, like a communication type of tower. I was thinking about putting a satellite in the middle here, but I really don't want to make it too busy. I was even thinking of making a bike ramp that could go up through here. As an interesting idea. This one is not the right scale, so I might see if I could buy some proper bikes that will fit the model, fit the look. So this one in particular, like, I want to keep it looking as realistic as possible. Some of that gun that I was looking at earlier, it just wouldn't work. So I'm gonna keep going at that. I'm also looking at trying to figure out what kind of figures I can use. I know there's some suitable size figures. I'm going to see about picking those up. I've got, I guess this is 1:72 scale, because it matches sprue from a German Pak 40 gun. But for the 72, I've got 6 or 7 bags of these figures. So of course, I'll probably figure out some kind of a war game that I can use them in, instead of using them in Gaslands. But and then of course the Flames of War guys, I think they're a little too small. So somewhere in between those 2 scales would work. I started working on the spool here. So for the side, definitely gonna think I'm gonna work on that. And then I've got basically the model itself so far is, I've got it all linked up here. And I might just kind of do a little more detail around this piece, just to kind of cover it up and make it fit in with the rest of the model before I paint it. And then I'm going to put some spikes up and around here, the front and the back, and then find a machine gun that's similar to some of my car models and put it up in here. I just got to figure out where I put those. But the next, for part 3, you guys will get to see the completed model. Okay, thanks. Stay tuned for the next video for part 3 of the war rig. I'm going to have a giveaway mentioned in that video. So if you can, possibly subscribe, you'll get a notice on when that video is done and when the war rig is completed. And then I'll have a giveaway for some cars that I've got accumulated. I've got quite a number of models, and I don't need them all. So what I'm going to do is I'll announce in the next video the details of the giveaway, and then yeah, just felt like doing that. So anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching.